basically abundance is this world preaches lack and scarcity and to be afraid of. So you buy stuff. I don't believe that. I believe that there's more than enough. It's just whether you can see it or not. That's a little cleaner way to explain it, I guess.
Yeah, no, I love that.
Fishing. There's more than enough space. There's more than enough food.
Hey, y'all, you've somehow found the Fishing Business Podcast. I'm so glad you did. I hope you're a subscriber, actually, but even if you're not and you just somehow happened upon it, I'm glad you're here. Today, we're talking to a gentleman by the name of Ty Southerland. And, you know, I try to have a mix of guests on the Fishing Business Podcast. I try to have some business executives. I try to have some marketers. I try to have some pro fishermen. Ty is an influencer in the YouTube world. He has a channel called 30 Miles Out, but he's really a Renaissance man. He is a visual artist. He's a musician. He writes all the music for his videos on YouTube, and he's been doing this channel for about 13 years. He's really good at it. The reason why I wanted to introduce you to Ty is because Ty has a mindset of abundance. He believes there's plenty for everybody. He believes there's plenty of fish in the sea. He believes there's plenty of food. He believes that there's plenty of money to go around. There's plenty of business. And I think it's really important that we practice an abundant mindset. I think it can change your life. If you have a mindset of scarcity, it'll make you do things that won't serve you well in the end. A mindset of abundance will change your life. All right, y'all. Here is Ty Southerland of the YouTube channel 30 Miles Out. This is going to be good, y'all. All right, Ty Southerland with 30 Miles Out, the YouTube channel. Big channel. You've got like 50,000 subscribers. How long have you had this channel, Ty?
13 years.
Wow, that's a long. How many videos do you do per year?
I do 1 or 2 a week on average, probably.
Golly.
So I have 800 some odd episodes, probably.
That is a lot of content. How'd you get started doing this?
I've always kind of documented stuff. And before YouTube, I was always filming with VHS-C and all kind of crazy and doing nothing with it. I just had it.
Yeah.
And then when YouTube came along, it's a no-brainer for me. I was like, I can share this with the world, get out of here. So that's just kind of where it started. I knew right away it was huge.
Really? How long did it take for you to get to the point where you felt like you were being found and people were watching what you did? Because there had to be some discouraging moments where you were like, golly, I'm doing all this and nobody sees it.
No, never.
Never?
For me, I have an artistic background, so I'm a songwriter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a visual artist. So I've always known when you strike a nerve, you strike a nerve moment one.
Yeah.
You either strike it or you don't.
Right.
When it comes to art. So, I'd have a band that wouldn't do anything. And then I'd get another band and chemistry would hit and we were on tour and we were, it was you either hit the nerve or you don't.
Yeah.
I try some art projects and I would do another one. Boom. Sold 15,000 pieces of art.
Wow.
So I knew that coming into this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I knew coming in, you just strike a nerve, it's going to be or it's going to be take off. First video I put out, they're like, oh man, you're good on camera. Oh man, this is great. I knew right away I had it.
Really? So you are like a Renaissance man. Have you ever had a 9-to-5 job, or have you always been, creating as your way of living?
Since I was born, I've always created. That's pretty much all I've done. I tried to have jobs when I was a kid.
Yeah. And
I got fired. I tried to go to school like we all had to. I got fired from school. I didn't do well at school. Horrible at school. I failed. I don't know how they pushed me through. I was always in the annex buildings with mentally challenged kids. I'm not joking. I really was. College failed out right away. Boom, gone. But I could always play the hell out of a guitar and sing. And I can always paint, draw, and create. And that's just kind of where I found my niche. And YouTube came along, and I could take them all. When you hear my show, you're hearing my music in the background, and I'm filming videography. It's artistic. So it was just another artistic medium.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I mean, I have similar, I'm not a musician, but I'm also a visual artist. And I studied graphic design in college and then became a designer. And then from there started producing TV shows, because I learned really when you're creating visual art, you're just expressing a message, or you're telling a story, and you can tell a story through music. You can tell a story through a painting, or you can tell a story through video. You know, it's just stories.
That's very right. It's all about telling the story, whether it's a 2-minute video or a 50-minute feature. You're still just telling the story, and it's a lot like writing songs. I used all my songwriting, the things I've developed through songwriting to push a little video or a story or a 10-minute video clip.
Right.
This is all the same to me. It either builds and has a point and ends, or it doesn't. So just like songwriting. Yeah.
How did you come up with the name for your channel, 30 Miles Out?
I wrote a record when I was in my 20s that did okay. I had a song on it called Utah. I toured all over for that song. It was on the radio. And when I started this 30 Miles Out, I owned the rights to that record and all the songs, and there was 2 songs on it. I was like, man, these would be great for an outdoor TV show. One was 30 Miles Out, and one was Water in My Veins. And I had to choose between the 2, and I ended up choosing 30 Miles Out because it was going to be an outdoor show. I started out as bows and bow hunting and boats and kayaks, and then the world changed and the kayaks went crazy, and they just pushed me down that lane, and I pushed myself down that lane. It just got real popular, and so I'm stuck with 30 Miles Out kayak fishing. So everybody's like, it's kind of confusing for people sometimes.
I don't think it's confusing. I think it's evocative and provoking. And I like that it's not Ty Southerland fishing, because that is the most boring thing you can name your anything. And it's done so much in our industry where somebody just tacks the word fishing onto the end of their name. And
yeah, I feel you on that. Yeah, I want it to be something loosey-goosey that I actually wrote that song 30 Miles Out when I was on an offshore trip sometime. I came back and wrote it. So I wanted it to be kind of loose like that. Yeah.
Now, where are you from, Ty?
I was raised in Bryan, Texas, in East Texas. Mm-hmm. And all my family's from South Louisiana, or they're from South, and my mom's from South Louisiana. My dad's from North Louisiana. So I'm just Louisiana blood, Cajun. I speak French. Yeah. I sing Cajun and Zydeco music. I play accordion. I go by Boudreaux when I play live.
I love it.
So I have a lot of Louisiana influence. We all fish down there. It's big in the Cajun culture. So I just came out strong with the fishing and the hunting and the music. And it's all part of our culture, really.
Right.
Storytelling is another part of Cajun culture, too. So.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, you're right. And, I'm Southern. Yeah. I was born in Mobile, Alabama, and grew up in South Alabama. And it's, it's just part of the Southern culture, too. Storytelling is, it's just what we do.
Oh, Mardi Gras.
Yeah, that's right. So, I read on your website that you had talked to someone about how you could get a TV show on, and they said, you need like, $100,000 or something along those lines. Is that right?
Yeah, I have we've had this show, and we my wife and I have scratched out a living with it. Based on, I originally wanted to do the TV show thing, and then I learned how much money it was going to be, and I actually got pulled aside at ICAST, and they said, man, you really need to put this on TV. And I said, well, let's talk numbers. And they told me I needed a $15,000 camera, and I needed 13 episodes up front, and they were going to cost $10,000 an episode or something. I don't know, it was a ridiculous amount of money.
Right.
And I said, so what are we going to get out of this? And the guy said, about 50,000 people are going to watch this a week. I said, hold on one second. I said, I got a kid. He's a friend of mine. He's at the time he was 16 years old. He takes the culvert lid off his drain in his mama's front yard, and he drops a line down there, and he catches bass and catfish in his mama's front yard while the 8-year-old next door is holding the iPhone.
Oh my!
I said, he's getting 1 million views a week.
My gosh.
You want me to do what?
That's fantastic.
I felt like that scene in Waterworld where Kevin Costner tells him you're dying.
Yeah. Yeah.
The medium just can't keep up with that. I mean, it's crazy the attention you can get worldwide at the click of a button without spending a dime.
Right. Right. No, that's absolutely true.
It's all about creativity. There's nobody between you and the creativity. You create, then there's the people. So there's no more big money industry. It doesn't have to be.
And you don't have all these network executives in between you telling you what you need to be doing.
That's right. That's right. Which
what's
kind of frees an artist up.
Yeah. So if someone's out there listening to this that thinks they want to start a YouTube channel, how much would you tell somebody they need to think about investing? Like you don't have to spend more than X amount of dollars.
I would say that you're already thinking you're going down the wrong road if you're thinking money.
Yeah.
Like you already should have put out a lot of videos of what you've got.
Yeah.
The iPhone is one of the most. I filmed half of my show with the iPhone.
Yeah.
It outdoes my GoPros. It's more power than they had 20 years ago with some of the most expensive cameras they had.
That's right.
If you have a phone, you're in business.
Yeah. I love that you said that because I believe that too. And so many people think they have to go, spend a ton of money when you don't. You just don't. And you can do it. I know people that do their whole channels with their iPhones still and have huge followings. And they don't.
It really boils down to creativity and drive. There's a guy I watch on YouTube. His name is Brushy One String. He's a little old Jamaican dude. He plays little songs he writes on one string on an old acoustic guitar.
Oh, wow.
He can only play one string. He's huge, but he's talented and he's driven. So it's kind of the same way.
Yeah.
Stop whining. Stop worrying about money you need to spend. And just take what you've got and start creating and put it out there. It's all about grind. People don't realize how much grind it takes to make anything happen. I know from being in the industry you're in and trying to produce a kayak fishing show with an iPhone. It just takes a lot of work, no matter what you do. So they're looking for the money. They're not looking for you need to start looking at the grind and get to work.
That's right. People don't realize that at the end of the day, everybody that, quote unquote, makes it big has been working hard all the time before they quote unquote made it big.
People start talking about money they need to spend and doing this and that. If you can do it little, you can do it big. If you can do it with an iPhone, you can do it with $100,000 camera. But it needs to be proven first with no money.
I love it. That's great. So Sean Lawless, my friend Sean, who is also your friend, Sean was a guest on the podcast last week. He described you as one of the most generous people that he knew. He said Ty is so generous with his knowledge, and that he said Ty has a philosophy of there's plenty of fish in the sea. Tell me a little bit about that.
I'm a Christian, and I believe in abundance. I don't believe in scarcity. Funny little story. One time I wanted to grow more trees, and I dug up 20 little oak trees in the woods, and I brought them back on my property, and I planted them all. They all died. And I worked so hard. And then one day I realized underneath the oak tree that I did have, I was mowing down hundreds of baby oak trees.
Yeah.
Hundreds. So I always use that story to explain how much abundance we have. It's just not everybody can see the matrix.
Yeah. So
your job is to figure out to see how to see the matrix. Neo, you have to. If you can't see the green, it's right in front of you. They're everywhere in Matrix. I guess it makes sense, but it's all abundance is all we don't.
Hey Ty,
I'm kind of. You still got me? Or?
Yeah, it froze up. So I didn't get. I don't think I got all of that. Can you start that over again?
Past the oak tree.
Yeah. I got the part of the oak tree, and then you start talking about the matrix. They don't see the matrix.
Matrix. I get off of that stuff. But basically, abundance is this world preaches lack and scarcity and to be afraid of. So you buy stuff. I don't believe that. I believe that there's more than enough. It's just whether you can see it or not. That's a little cleaner way to explain it, I guess.
Yeah, I love that.
Fishing. There's more than enough space. There's more than enough food.
Yeah.
I literally took some mud the other day and I mixed it with clay and some other stuff. And I put watermelon and okra and just seeds that cost $3 for a bag this big. And I just threw it on the ground in the back of my property. I have 60 yards of zucchini and squash. And to me, I don't touch it. I don't water it. I don't do anything. My wife picked a basket yesterday this big. She gave it to her friends, and I don't tend to it. I don't weed it. I don't do nothing. But once again, abundance.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's plenty.
I'm a big believer in that abundance mindset. I think it changes everything that you do in your life, like you said. And I also think I have that. I try to concentrate on having a mindset of abundance when it comes to finances, so that I don't worry about finances. But I do realize there's a fine line between having a mindset of abundance and being smart about your money.
Definitely. Yeah, you got to be smart with the abundance, or smart leads to abundance. I don't know how to look at it, but yeah. I know. I hear what you're saying. I'm still guilty of worrying about money and all that stuff. But little things like that garden example stuff teach me that it's there. You just need to wake up.
That's right. And I think when you change your mindset, when you work on having a mindset of abundance when it comes to, your personal finances and your business and getting more business and doing the things you want to do, there's something that just changes in your brain, and you start acting like you already have it. And when you do that, it brings it to you.
Exactly. Visioning where you want to be before you get there is super important.
Agree. Yeah.
I really think it helps pull you there,
Yeah.
If you're already anchored in vision, it's pulling you to it. Whether you don't have a vision, if you don't know where you're driving to, you can end up anywhere. But if you're anchored in, I'm going to Michigan, you're going to end up in Michigan somewhere.
That's right.
That's right. You're looking at the map, you're looking at your phone, you'll end up in Detroit. But if you just say, hey, we're driving, you can end up in Kansas,
That's right. Yeah.
So having a vision of the end goal and picturing yourself standing there is a big point, is a big asset.
Did you see yourself, 13 years ago when you launched your channel? Did you see yourself where you are now? Did you say, this is what I want to be doing? I want to be making my living by sharing this part of my life with other people through.
Yeah, to the point to where I'm always a little upset that I'm not further along. Like that was the point in game one. It's kind of changed course a little bit, where the focus used to be on being a huge YouTube channel, and then I didn't want to guide. I just wanted to be because I still play music. I'm used to being a front man and an entertainer. Right. So I just wanted to entertain on YouTube. Right. And the channel is as big as it is, it's still not as big as some of these kids that are coming up and just passing me. So I had to figure, well, if this isn't my niche, what is? And then I learned that people wanted to learn from me because I teach a lot. Yeah. They wanted me to guide them, and I didn't want to guide, but then I opened up to it, and boom, I love guiding.
Now do?
I have a show, and I guide 3 days this week. So I guided this morning. So just life is weird how it snakes along and takes different paths.
Right. Well, what do you think? Why? What was the difference? What did you find? What did you think? Why did you think you weren't going to like guiding? And then why did you find out that you did?
I was so focused on doing the show and being an entertainer and just wanting to be popular on the show, maybe lead the TV. Yeah. I was so sunk into that. I was just pushing the abundance away.
Right.
Pushing it away. I was so hyper-focused.
Yeah.
And then when I opened up to that, I actually thought, well, hey, I really do like to teach. Let's get our guide license trial. But my wife and I both got our guide license, and I ended up absolutely loving it. I can't get enough of it. I mean, I could guide twice a day. It's just a lot of fun. I enjoy teaching, and I just get the biggest kick out of it.
That's great. And really and truly, Ty, when you take a guide client out, you're doing the same thing that you do in your YouTube videos. You're just doing it with one person. You're telling stories. You're having a beginning, a middle, and an end to your day. You're providing this experience for them. It's just one-on-one instead of you and a camera and 3,000 people watching you on YouTube.
Yeah, it is. Or one on. Sometimes I have two or three, but I'm always. I go pretty deep with it. I'm just say this is okay. You're holding the rod wrong or something.
Yeah.
I say, well, the Cronco Indians used to stand here, and they were the first tribe to use dogs, and this is actually the shell bar we were on is how they used to escape enemies. And I mean, I go into the history of the area.
I love that.
This isn't just a bush. This is mangrove. This only exists here in South Florida. This is very unique. So I kind of get deep into it and just try to give I don't want a tour guide, kind of a thing.
Yeah. One time I was fishing.
Entertaining, I guess. Trying to always.
One time I was fishing with a guy in saltwater. Actually, we were fly fishing, and he was my guide, and we were in a boat. And I said, I knew the answer to this, but I said, why does the redfish have a spot on their tail? And he said, I don't know, Angie, why is your hair red? And I said, I can tell you exactly why my hair is red. It's because of my genetics and Clairol. But I really feel like that's such an easy question to answer. And if you can't answer that for your guide clients, you don't care about the right things.
No, you're just solely focused on fishing. And I think everybody knows the answer. It's a false high.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Is that the?
Yeah. But that experience of being on the water is more than just catching a fish. It just is for most people. I think that we all get more out of the whole day than just what we harvest.
Exactly. Yes. And then in the show, I try to include, the coffee and loading out, and the sun coming up, just little things that to me mean fishing, the things I smell and see, on the way.
Yeah.
Stop at a gas station. It could be something trivial, but
that's what we do.
It all means fishing. Yeah.
That's what we do.
I'll get this in the zone.
What's your favorite part of being in the fishing business, Ty?
I really enjoy teaching people. That's it. And I enjoy, I love to fish, obviously. Yeah. So getting to fish for whatever reason is always good. Whether you're guiding or whether you're filming a TV show or filming the 30 Miles Out show on YouTube, it's just, you get to fish.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
Big part of it for me.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to take a quick break here and we'll be right back on the Fishing Business Podcast with Ty Southerland of the 30 Miles Out YouTube channel. We'll be right back.
I really want to hear from you to know what kind of questions you have and how I can serve you best in this podcast. The easiest place to reach me is probably at Facebook or Instagram, where you can find me as Fishing Business Podcast, or on YouTube, but you'll have to search for me there by typing in Fishing Business Podcast. Holla!
All right, we're back on the Fishing Business Podcast with Ty Southerland. Ty is the host of a very successful YouTube channel called 30 Miles Out. He do you primarily fish in saltwater, Ty?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Just 600 yards from saltwater.
Yeah, there you go. And you live in Texas?
I'm in Rockport, Texas, right on the coast.
Oh, awesome!
It's almost an island. It's like a little peninsula.
Yeah. I have fly fished in the Laguna Madre. That's close, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, just south of us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so at this part of the show, I like to give people sort of some rapid fire questions to just answer off the top of your head. That's because I like to see, what you really think without thinking about it too much. So what are you most grateful for right now at this moment in life? What are you most grateful for?
My wife's next door. I'm grateful for my wife.
I love that.
My children, and just feel blessed to be able to do what I love every day when I wake up.
Amen.
Because that was a non-negotiable for me, whether I had to live in a refrigerator box in a ditch or not. That's just what it was going to be.
Yeah.
And so I'm grateful I actually pulled it off, and I can't eat.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm just glad to be here. Just very grateful for everything, really. You know, my health. I'm 52 years old, so
yeah.
Doing what I do at 52 is, you're pushing the envelope. So I'm grateful to be healthy and be able to pull it off.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, who are 2 people, living or dead, that you would invite to your fantasy dinner party? So it's you and your wife and 2 people, living or dead.
And this is just people in general?
Yeah, just anybody that you want to spend the evening with. And
mentors. We talked about Jose Wahebe that you knew.
Yep, I knew Jose very well.
He was definitely somebody I would have loved to have talked to.
Yeah,
I'm a big Tony Robbins fan.
Oh yeah,
I listen. He helps me every day of my life. I listen to him almost every day.
I love that. I love Tony Robbins too. And I tell you what, if Tony and Jose sat down together, that would be one heck of a conversation. I would love to hear that too.
I'm sure Jose would get him fishing.
Who is your latest favorite follow that you follow on social media?
My wife's screaming stuff from the other room. David Goggins right now. What is that his name? David Goggins, right?
Yeah.
I'm watching a lot of David Goggins right now. He really gets me motivated.
Really?
Yeah.
And is he a motivational speaker kind of guy?
Really with David.
Huh?
They call him the toughest man alive.
Oh.
Physically tough, mentally tough.
Really?
I think he's the only person in the world. You know that Navy SEAL training thing?
Oh, yeah.
They call it Hell Week or something like that.
Uh-huh.
It's called Hell Week.
Yeah.
Most people do it once in a lifetime, if ever. He was a Navy SEAL, and I think he did it 3 times in 1 year.
Oh my gosh!
He's just very inspirational.
Well,
he teaches you how to. Yeah, he's basically saying he says that we're all operating at 40%.
I agree with that.
When you think you're maxed out, you're 40%. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he teaches you how to bust through that. And I'm very into him right now, to answer your question.
That's great.
He gets me going.
I'll put him in the show notes so our listeners and viewers can find him. And then what's a YouTube channel that you think we should check out that we may not be aware of? What might be under the radar for the rest of the world?
Are we talking fishing? Or,
it doesn't matter. Whatever, you're a YouTube guy. You consume a lot of content on YouTube. We do too. What's something that you might know about that we don't know about?
Goggins, again. David Goggins, everything he puts. Yeah, David Goggins. Sean Lawless, my buddy, we talked about Sean. He's starting to put out content that's starting to inspire me. He always says I got him into the game, but now he's starting to, his game, he's gotten so good that he's starting to inspire me. So if you haven't seen the Lawless Ty, definitely check it out.
Okay.
If you're into fishing. I'm assuming
I think most of our audience would be into fishing.
Okay, good. And then just general purpose, I listen to a lot. I get up every morning early and I exercise if I'm not kayaking. Mm-hmm. And what I listen to is Tony Robbins. I put in Tony Robbins and whatever the problem is. So Tony Robbins, kid who think your child thinks he knows everything. Boom. And then I just get the answer.
Yeah.
Or whatever it may be, or how to be, mentally strong or whatever it is. So Tony helps me a lot. And that's the people that I listen to, to start my day.
That's good.
Joel Osteen is I've just always loved his spirit. Right. So I listen to Joel Osteen to get my head right.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us. I think I like hearing how successful people, how they keep themselves motivated and inspired. And I think it's important for, my listeners are trying to find their way and they want to be in the fishing world, whether it's as an influencer or a YouTube channel, or they want a job in the fishing industry. And I love being able to share people like you with my listeners, where they can see, you're obviously a very successful guy who did things on your own terms, and you have a system for how you do it. And a lot of it, your system seems to be around your mindset and being positive and going after what you want in life.
Yes, ma'am. I have another quick, really good story if you have the time.
Yeah.
All right. There's a little kid named Josh Tooley that watches my show. He contacted me 3 or 4 years ago. At the time, he was probably 12. Mm-hmm. And he sends me a picture of his bike his mountain bike with a welded on contraption that he had made from a baby carriage with a lawnmower and a weed eater. And he says, Ty, I'm about to buy my first kayak. This is how I'm doing it. Blew me away. And sure enough, 4, 5, 6 months down the line, he bought his first kayak, and that company sponsored him. I don't know how many lawns he had to mow to make that happen, but he did.
Oh my gosh.
This is great for all your listeners if they want to know how much grind it takes. So the other day, I wanted to buy this thing called a Genu, which is a small skiff. Well, Josh is 17 now. He's still in high school. He's about to graduate. And I get hold of Josh and I say, yeah, I heard you got a Genu. Yes, I did, Ty. So I go to the boat ramp and there's a brand new Genu with a brand new motor. And this is probably a $6,000 boat. I find out that he paid for the darn thing by working on fishing boats.
Wow.
Then I find out that the truck he was driving, he saved for 2 years working on fishing boats. It was a brand new Toyota Tacoma. He paid $30,000 cash.
Golly.
This kid is 17 years old.
Wow.
Mind blows my mind, but you can't, the dedication and the grind that this kid has is exactly what would make you successful on YouTube, make you successful in life. He's highly focused and he works hard and he's gracious and kind. He wears a crucifix. People love him. And I just think he's a great example of what it takes to be successful in life. You want to know how to be successful? Call up Josh Tooley.
That's great.
That kid's going to be huge. He's going to be huge at 30 years old. I don't know what he's going to do, but he's going to be big.
I love that. What a great story. Thank you for sharing that with us. That's very inspiring. You're right. Great. Good deal. Hey, Ty, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today. I know you're really busy and you probably had many better things to do. I should tell our viewers that you just moved into a new shop and you haven't gotten it all fixed up yet. And you could probably be spending this time doing that. But
I love this stuff.
You instead decided that you'd spend some time with us, and I really appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me.
My 3 key takeaways from that conversation. I'm just going to do this right off the top of my head. I really liked how Ty talked about living life on his own terms. You know, he didn't try to do things the way everybody expected him to do things. He did things his own way. So I think that's a good takeaway is, try to do things on your own terms. If nothing else, give it a shot, man. Try it your way and see what happens. Another thing that I got out of that was, I did write this down. I did write a note about this. Take a chance on things you don't think you'll like. Ty said he did not think he would like guiding, and turns out he loves it. And it's a very gratifying part of his life. So I would encourage all of us to do that. Try things that we think we're not going to like, because you may find out that you love it. And then, of course, number 3, this is so important. Have a mindset of abundance. I can't emphasize that enough. I can't do it all the time. I really try. Every once in a while, I backslide and start realizing that I'm living with a mindset of scarcity. And that's usually when I get real stressed out, or I worry about money or finances or business, not having enough business. And that's a mindset of scarcity. If I recognize that about myself and catch it and turn it around and say, there's plenty. There's plenty for everyone. And I'm going to be cared for and taken care of. It really changes my day and changes my life. So I encourage you to think about that a little bit and have a mindset of abundance. God wants us all to be happy and have what we need. And you know what? At the end of the day, we always do. All right, y'all. Thank you for spending some of your wild and precious life with us here on the Fishing Business Podcast. I'm going to close things out the way my favorite TV fisherman always closed out his show, The Fishing Hole, by saying, this is dedicated to Dad, because he always had time to take me fishing. See you next time, y'all.